Shalom Akim, your brother Ra'azah Allah from GMSLondon camp. First and foremost, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and blessings unto the hopeful elect around the four winds. This is article of USA Today. As the scriptures, say, we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, and it's going to be a time on the earth as never seen before, man. Things are reaching the climax point in the society. America, also known as Babylon the Great, is at its end, man. And these devils, these so-called white people, they're not going to go down without a fight, but they're going to lose, evidently. But they're going to show their hand right now. They're going to reveal those horns, like the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone been telling Jake's for the longest. And they're going to, persecute Jake, man. Hardcore, man. They're about to, because the sword is their blessing, which the modern day sword is their gun and military might. And they're going to show forth that on all levels, man. Like the elder Kozak from the Mississippi camp said, the time of Jacob's trouble is going to outshine slavery, man. The kind of persecutions that are getting ready to be unleashed over there in the Americas. That's why all these false flag attacks, subsequently happening all at once, one after the other. A whole lot of people are getting put to death, left, right, and center, man. Because ultimately it's the judgment of the Heavenly Father, but also, the Most High is using this devil on the left hand side as his sword, as it says in Psalm 17 and 13. And even King David, knew and was warning basically in a warning type situation of protection from that sword, man. Because these devils, man, they act like they're all, courteous and, PC, should I say, passive aggressive. But really, there's war in their hearts, man. As the scriptures say, man. They're a bunch of serpents, man. As Apostle Aramla has been going into in his latest live stream, man. They're not to be trusted. These devils act like they're for the, the greater. They act like they're for the greater good, but really, they're about their own agenda, man. That New World Order, which is their coming out party, is that chip. But anyway, not to rant. It says Pentagon to deploy 5,000 active duty troops to the southern border to halt migrant caravan. Yeah, and they're saying that it's all for the greater good, so to speak, as so-called control, a means to an end, so to speak. But really, this is all part of Esau's agenda to bring that populist control for that New World Order, man. Because those, even in one other article, I'll get it real quick. It was saying that in this article here from the commonsenseshow.com, says UN imposed medical martial law is back for a second attempt. And that's what it's about. It's that they basically want to, push forth that war type law, martial law, because all hell's about to break loose, man. They're about to release all kind of pandemics, epidemics. They was talking about a disease X or something like that, to that nature, or some new Ebola, smallpox that they're getting ready to release from the CDCs. Like I said, Daniel's the second chapter says it all, man. It's going to be a time on earth as never seen before, man. It's going to be gory out here, man. And as I said, there's no coinky dink, all these different false flag attacks and people getting taken out of the frame by the elites. It's happening for no reason, man. It's happening for a reason, because these devils are, on the final curtain call, final showdown for their New World Order, man. I mean, you'd had the shooting with the synagogue by that Edomite with 11 dead so-called Jews. And then, the day before you had the, the pipe bomb postings, with the so-called Jake that they said, that so-called created 13 different, postal threats or whatever, which that was all just made up anyway. But, this is going to be a great insurrection, man, in society, within the American system, man. That's going to lead to the civil war, where the new civil war is going to be the martial law, race riots, in-house fighting, and it's gonna pour out to the streets, man. And these devils are going to come down on Jake, the majority of you Jakes out there that are asleep, lollygagging, and not watching for the final calamities that are coming upon you, man. It's gonna be a showdown, man. And the Most High is a man of war. He wants to see a showdown happen, man. But even in the midst of that, the Lord's gonna raise up certain men of His elect to combat these devils when they bring that time of Jacob's trouble, and there's stormtroopers as they come in as a flood, man. But those Jakes over there in the Mexican border, as I said in the other article, it says about medical martial law, because they're doing that because they want to get ready to chip Jake, man. You want to get over here to the Americas, you're gonna have to take that chip, man. That's that medical martial law. You know, the different quarantine zones they're gonna have when all pestilences are being released, pandemics, epidemics, so on and so forth, man. So I'm gonna read a little bit of the article, one or two scriptures, and close out. It says National Guard troops in San Luis, Arizona. It says walk near the U.S. Mexico border on April 18th, 2018, and it's from that time they had like 2,100 National Guard troops already around that border, done by DJ Trump himself earlier that in that year, which was around April. And now they want to deploy. The Pentagon wants to deploy another 5,000, man, showing their teeth. And their teeth represents their armies, man, their military might. And as I said, the sword is Esau's blessing, and modern day sword is that gun. So he's gonna come down on Jake, man, with the harshness, man. He's gonna reveal those horns like the apostles and elders have been warning us for the longest, man. He's not gonna come lightly on Jake, man. He's gonna come down, like the devil he is, man, and show his true colors. That he has that perpetual hatred for you Jakes, man, from his inception, even on to this day. It says the Pentagon will deploy up to 5,000 active duty troops to the U.S. border, because the majority of the people at the U.S. border of Mexico are who? Jakes, man. You even got Guatemalans that are mixed up among the Mexicans, which is the tribe of Issachar, and the Guatemalans to Panama, which is like the tribe of Zebulon. So they're all mixed in together, and they're trying to get over there to the Americas. But these devils are going to be like, alright, you want to do that? Well, you're going to have to take this chip, because they're basically saying they're going to be the new domestic terrorists, because they got a bunch of Arabs or Arabs mixed up amongst them that are likely threats to the Americas, man. So there's more to come. These little light false flags attacks that have been happening for the past couple of days, there's more to come, man. More hell and destruction to come. As I said, it's going to be a time like never been before on the earth. All hell is going to break loose, literally, man, before our very eyes, man. This is of Mexican border in an effort to prevent members of the migrant caravan from illegally entering the country. U.S. officials said on Monday. It says about 2,100 National Guard troops are already fanned out across the border under the order of President DJ Trump earlier this year. In recent weeks, the president has been warning repeatedly about the dangers posed to the caravan, mostly Central American migrants, it says, which has swelled to an estimated 7,000 people, is continuing to slow trek north through to Mexico, man. His administration officials said last week that they were considering a plan to send 1,000 active duty troops to the border, but the deployment has increased to 5,000 according to the Department of Homeland Security, which they're a bunch of, they're basically the henchmen, for Esau, man, through the Pentagon, man. That's that private security firm that's gonna, basically put a lot of you Jakes out there to death. That's the same Homeland Security that, endorsed about how many millions, can't remember the number, I think it was 2.5 billion or something like that, hollow tip point bullets, man, to eradicate you Jakes. Namely you Jakes over there in the borders and in the time of Jacob's trouble throughout the Americas, man. Take you niggas out. And in time of, enforcing that chip, when it becomes mandatory that if you don't take that chip, you're going to be taken out, man. So a lot of Jakes are going to be considering, or they're going to go running, with their hands in the sky to Esau, for that comfort being that chip, instead of getting them taken out by them hollow tip point bullets, man. They're going to run to Esau for security, man, because they believe in his customs, in his system, man, rather than in their power that's in the heavens, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, because they don't know him, man. They don't acknowledge the Heavenly Father through his Son. It says officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity, because he was not authorized to publicly discuss the plans before a formal announcement Monday afternoon. It says the troops are expected to conduct law enforcement activities, but instead provide backup support to the border patrol agents manning the border. So basically they're saying that, the border patrol agents are the only ones that are going to be able to arrest, migrants that are trying to jump the border. But, in the meantime, those law enforcement activities, best believe that's gonna be you know, in a time of martial law, that's gonna involve taking of that chip, as it says in the other article. If I get it quickly, other article here, it says from the commonsenseshow.com website, it says UN imposed medical martial law. So why they're imposing medical martial law is back for a second attempt, because that's when all hell breaks loose. You know, all these different pandemics and epidemics be released. You know, the law said there's going to be plagues that are not written in the book that are going to be released out here in these last days in modern day Egypt, which is in America, man. And they even said they got a disease called Disease X, or the new Ebola, smallpox, all kinds of shit they're ready to release from the CDC. And on top of that, you know, all hell's going to, race riots are going to break, you know, and they're going to need that form of control. So that medical martial law is for that time of these devils, these troops enforcing that shit on peoples, man, if they want to make it into the Americas, man. You know, there's no coinky dink there of why this is all happening at the, you know, proposed same time. You know, these devils, you know, as I said, they last curtain call when they want to go out with a bang, you know, because they're not going to go down willingly before Yahweh Shai comes to take the asses out of power, man. You know, they're going to go down with a fight because they're that carnal, man. You know, but they're still going to lose because that's that pride, man. Pride will go before the destruction, a great fall. You know, so that's they're going to have them quarantine zones and all of that, man. That medical martial law, which martial law means war type law. So it's going to be in a time of war that these devils are going to enforce, you know, enforce their so-called what's that word? Was it here? It says Slakia, man. I was just looking for that phrase that they put in here. Something. I can't find it. If it comes back to me, I'll say it. But it's skipped my mind at the moment. But it's that war type law, man. You know, they're gonna enforce that on the peoples. I mean, whatever they say goes. You know, no matter how harsh it is, and it even goes into the, you know, even Trump said it himself. We should bring back capital punishment. You know, we should bring back the death penalty and all that. And that goes into the guillotines, man. They're gonna have all that stored up. Where they got all them stored up in their warehouses and their, you know, their makeshift concentration camps, re-education camps, ready to behead people when the time comes, man. With all them different coffins they got. So it's all coming into so-called Esau's you know, play. But this is chess, not checkers, man. The Most High's got you in a quagmire. And you know, when you devils think you're gonna establish a new world order, that's when you know, the Lord's gonna cut off your heads, man. Oh, that's what law enforcement activities. That's it. You know, that martial law. There's gonna be some law enforcement activities they're gonna impose on the people by the sword, man, by the modern day gun. You know, so it's not gonna be sweet, man. It's gonna get gory out here, man. You know, people in this month of Halloween, you know, dressing up like demons with all blood splattered all over their faces and their clothing. You know, that shit's gonna be a real reality check in these last days, because that you're gonna actually be seeing that shit. You know, people's heads getting chopped off. You know, limbs getting torn apart. You know, from old and young. It's gonna be a lawless society, man. Within a split second, man. You know, as the scripture say, when they should say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, man. So I'm gonna read a little bit more of this and then jump to one or two scriptures to close out. So typically, migrant caravans travel in numbers to seek safety and avoid risks of such kidnap, rape, and extortion, which that's going to be you know, major in these last days, even more so when all hell breaks loose, man. Kidnapping, rape, extortion, you know, all that, man. The scripture says about it's going to be sedition amongst men with swords in their hands, man, and they're going to be going up against these troops, these law enforcement troops, and all that, man. You know, that's why it's going to get so gory, man. And then ultimately the nuclear missiles is going to, you know, bring the final end to this wicked ass society, man. That's going to be the final curtain call for Esau, man, and his reign. You know, it says when the last migrant caravan reached the US border in April, there's a majority of people presented themselves at the ports to request asylum, a legal way of entering the United States. And that's going to go into that chip as well. If you want to, enter in through asylum, they're going to tell you to take that chip in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. That medical martial law, like it says in the other article, man. That shit's here, man. It's coming, man. We're in the midst of it. That's why they keep pushing these false flag attacks. The next attacks are going to be blaming it on Jakes, probably Mexicans, or the Arabs, that the so-called Arabs that are mixed among them, that they're saying that's among them at this moment in time. It's going to be, so-called Negroes, all that. They're going to be blaming the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom for the new domesticated terrorist attacks. And that's when they're going to come down with this hammer to try and come against the men of the Lord. That great insurrection, man. Against them that fear the Heavenly Father, man. Which is us men, especially from the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone on down. As well as the other groups too, because they push Israel. But the true men of the Lord are going to be known in those days, man. The phonies from the fakes. From the real from the fakes, like Ezekiel 21:9 says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. And that's what we've been prophesying for the longest from the apostles and elders on down. They've been warning of these things, man. Martial law, time of Jacob's trouble, race riots, pestilences, famine, and ultimately those nuclear missiles, man. And our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai coming to return and deliver his elect from that calamity and to destroy, the kings of the earth and 2/3, man. That's what we've been doing, prophesying, man. Predicting basically, because the word prophesy means to say before, pro meaning before, and phosai means to say, and even the word prediction means the same thing. Meaning before, and diction, like where you get dictators or, diction, as I said, dictar, means to say. So that's what we've been saying for the longest, man. Like the apostles have always been saying, apostles to hard, namely, we're spiritual weathermen, man. We're those spiritual weathermen from that are prophesying what's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen, man. Whether you people like to hear it or not, This is it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of death, gore, and destruction taking place on this earth, man. It's not gonna be something sweet. It's gonna look much more horrific than any horror movie you've ever seen on TV. On the cinema, man. That American dream's gonna turn into an American nightmare, man. And also, it's gonna affect the four winds too. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? And that's the main, spirit of the people on the earth, especially 2/3 of our people, man. It's still in that spirit of mirth, even though there's different calamities, earthquakes going on in diverse places, people getting taken out of the frame, people dying in helicopters or dying in planes, or getting taken out in, shootings, massacre shootings and all that. You still got our people lollygagging out there, man, because the lights are still on. But what about when the lights ain't on no more, man? And for the want of all bread and all that. That's when there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth, and that even came out of the Lord's mouth himself. He says it's going to be a time of weeping and gnashing of teeth, man. It says it contemneth the rod on my son as every tree. It says, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. It says, this sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer, which is who? The so-called white man. That's why he's going to show forth his might through his military, man. Those teeth, Just like in the ancient Roman Empire, man, he had that teeth. I was talking about his military might, man. He's got the same shit going on today, man. But even more, because they got, different modern day swords, different type of weapons they got, ready to be released out there. Ultimately, them nuclear missiles. That's going to destroy their whole empire, man. Just crying how, Son of Man, for it shall be upon my people. Yeah, 2/3 of you jakes out there, man, are taking this shit for a joke. It says, it shall be upon the princes of Israel, terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Yeah, terrors by reason of the sword, and there's going to be so much terror on the streets that it's going to look unfathomable, man, uncontrollable. And Esau's going to try and come through his order Abkeo, but even that's going to, backfire, man, because certain jakes are going to get risen up to fight these devils, man, and take their asses out, It says, sword shall be upon my people, smite therefore upon thy thigh. It says, because it is a trial, and what if the sword contemn even the rod? It says, it shall be no more, saith the Lord power, man. So there's going to be a time of great destruction, man. And that's not even talking about the missiles. This is all before them nuclear missiles, man. That's, as I said, that's the final showdown, man. Final curtain call for Esau, man. And he's last hurrah. So get Daniel's second chapter and I'll close out on that. I don't know what the hell happened there. I said, sir, it's Daniel's 12 and it's like it. Keyboard keeps messing around. Yeah, it says Daniel's 12 and 1. It says, and it shall, and at that time, which is the time we're going into right now, time of Jacob's trouble, time of nuclear war, all that, man. You know, it says, at that time, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Yeah, even Michael, the archangel, and the other archangels going to have to come and intercede, you know, that spiritual intervention, because it's going to be so devastating, drastic, and dramatic, and you know, catastrophic, man. What's going to take place on this earth, man? And even Michael and the rest of the holy angels under Yahweh Shai, you know, are going to have to come back and you know, fight these devils, you know, face to face, man. And they're going to get dismantled. They're going to get you know, destroyed, man, by those laser beams and also those nuclear missiles, man. You know, the Lord's gonna have his way with these devils in these last days, man. The kings, so-called kings of the earth, namely Esau and these other nations, man. But it's gonna be all hell breaking loose all around the four winds, man. Especially over there in the Americas, man, where the majority of you jakes are. You know, the 12 tribes are, man. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Yeah, man, it's gonna be so, you know, devastating, man. Because the Lord's got his own different creatures that he's got newly created, like Apostle Gabar did a video, you know, a few days back, of all the Lord's creations that he's got in store, you know, ready to release out here to judge 2/3 in these other nations, man. You know, spirits created for vengeance, man. You know, that's going to appease the Lord's wrath on this earth, as well as Esau and his armies. You know, even, you know, people, domesticated peoples going at it, you know, sedition amongst men with swords in their hands. It's going to be so chaotic, man, and uncontrollable. These devils think they're going to be controlling the whole scenario, but really, you know, the Most High is controlling it, man, because it's going to be to their downfall, man. They're going to get caught in that trap, that snare, you know, which is World War III. It says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And that's why, even to that same time, that's why, you know, Elder Kwazak from Mississippi was saying that, you know, time of Jacob's trouble is going to outshine slavery, man. The kind of things we're going to be seeing, things that's going to be taking place, is going to outdo slavery, man. You know, the RFID chip being made mandatory. You know, the men that's going to be beheaded for this faith. You know, bringing back of the guillotine. Even Trump himself said, you know, you should bring back the death penalty and all that. You know, these things are going to happen, man, very soon. It's a short space of time. You know, sooner rather than later, Lord's will, man, because the elect men of the Lord, you want to get the hell up out of it, and we can't get out of it until these things take place, man, because the Lord's bound by his word. It says, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Yeah, the elect. But the rest, the 2/3, they're going to be blinded until the nuclear missiles come, like it tells you in Isaiah, the 6th chapter, 9th verse on down. You know, and Esau and the other nations, they're going to get put out as well, man. Because the wicked shall not understand. It says, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And that's only for the elect, man. The elect men of the Lord, those are the ones that are going to be found written in the book of life, man. In the kingdom to come, you know, kingdom of heaven, which is Yahweh Shai's kingdom. Because even the scriptures say he's the prince of life, you know. So we're going to reign forevermore with our Lord and Savior, man. So anyway, I'm going to close out. I think I went over time, but, you know, hope brothers was edified. Until next time, I say shalom, man.